Hello and welcome to Python programming for machine learning and data science. Python is one of the most popular languages used for artificial intelligence, and this is going to be your primary language that you're going to be using throughout your entire AI career, basically. So, we're going to start off with learning the basics. We'll first start off with comments. Comments are basically a way to comment your code, to leave information about what your code is doing so that other programmers could understand what exactly you are coding. So, to make a basic comment, you can use the hashtag symbol followed by whatever your comment is. So, this is a comment. And that's going to be basically your comment. And then underneath, you could write whatever code that you're going to be needing. So, print hello world, for example. And so when we print this by doing shift enter, or you could do the play button, it runs hello world, but it does not print this is a comment. So that's the great thing about comments. That doesn't get printed. It's only information for whoever is reading your code. Another way of writing comments is also with strings. So we could do triple quotes followed by a enter. Oh, enter again, and then between these quotes we could write, this is another way to write comments. And the great thing about this is that you could write actually multiple lines of comments, so you don't have to put a hashtag symbol in front of each line. You could actually write multiple lines all at once. So this is a second comment here. And if we do play, again, it prints out hello world. Actually, I spelled hello world wrong. Hello world. And it leaves this as a comment. So these are really great ways to write comments so that other coders can understand what your code is doing. Now, when you're going to be writing code, you're basically going to be writing a set of instructions to tell the computer what exactly you want to do. This is going to require a combination of different variables and functions and other different methods used in Python. So for example, let's try creating a variable. So on this new line here, let's say we want to create our variable, which is called name. And we're going to give ourselves the name. Well, for example, my name is Dan. And when we click play, we don't see anything printed out because this string, Dan, has been assigned to this variable name. So if we want to see the value of the word name, let's create a new cell block and type in name, and then we click play, it prints out the value Dan. So basically we assigned the value Dan to this variable called name. And then now we could use this variable in various different ways. We could assign numbers and do arithmetic by adding these different variables together. So we're going to be playing around a lot. Another way to create variables, let's create a new line here. You could actually use multiple lines to create this one variable. For example, let's say we want to create a number variable and we want to do some additional arithmetic. So let's create a new line here and let's do 1 plus 2 and then maybe plus 7. This is a very weird way, but it's possible. And let's print now the value of the number. And we click play and it prints out 10. So basically we assigned this variable the number, which is the arithmetic addition of these three numbers. Again, this is a very weird way of creating variables. You can use multiple lines. It's not very used very often, but it's possible, just so that you could know. Another way of creating a variable, again using multiple lines, let's say we have a new number again, and we assign it again 2 plus 3, and then we use this backslash, which is going to basically represent that this is ending the first line and we're continuing on the second line. And on the second line, we'll do, let's say, plus 10. And let's print that new number. And we click play, and it prints out 15. So it added these two numbers and this number as well, but because this basically represents that this is the end of this line and we're continuing on the next line, it continues to add the plus 10 from the second line to the new number, and we get a total of 15. One more way that you could create variables is that you could create multiple variables on the same line. So let's say we have num1, we'll give that a value of 4, and we have a second variable called num2, which is going to equal 3 minus 2. And if we click play, it's going to assign those values, of course. So let's print num1, and let's print num2. And we click play, and we got those values as well. One very common thing that you're going to be doing quite often is printing information. As you have been seeing up until now, and as I have done in the very beginning, I can print, for example, different strings. So printing what I printed in the beginning, which was hello world. And when I do shift enter, it prints hello world. So whatever I put in between these quotes is basically considered as a string, and whatever I type between those quotes and I print that, that is going to be printed. However, if I were to remove these quotes and I try printing this again, we get an error, some kind of invalid syntax. Basically what Python is trying to tell you is that this hello world is not a core data type that belongs to Python. It's no longer a string because strings are denoted with quotes. Variables are usually have to be assigned to something. So if this were to be printed, this would have to have something assigned to it. So for example, to fix this, we would need to, let's say, hello world, basically convert this into a variable. And of course, without the W. And then we assign this to a string of hello world. And if we fix this as well, make this underscore, and then try to print this again, then we get hello world, but again with the W. I don't know why I keep writing with the W. But yeah, we get the hello world printed. So what we had earlier with the space, this is unrecognizable in Python. We don't know what exactly this is, and we normally get this error when we try to print this. But once we fix this and make this into a variable, or if we put quotes around it and make it a string, then Python can recognize it and it could print that information. Now, in a slightly different situation where we don't really need to create variables is when we use numbers. So we could print numbers without any problem. For example, 3.14 or 15, and we click play, and it prints numbers without any problem. So numbers, of course, Python can recognize floats, integers, and so on. So that's not a problem. We don't have to assign any variables. We can, of course, we could, as we did before, number 2 equals 3.14, and then we try to print that number 2. Again, it prints out without any problems. Now, we could also print multiple things at the same time. So let's say we want to print the number 34. Then we want to print some text, which is like some text. And we want to print the Boolean true. And if we click play, it prints all that information together. You can also pass arguments into the print function for additional functionalities. So for example, let's create a new line and we print first line, and underneath we have second line. And once we do shift enter, the first line is on the first line and the second line is on the second line. What we don't see, however, is that by default we have an argument here which is called end, and by default the value of that is \n, which is basically a return carriage, which basically means that by default when we print something, it automatically creates a new line for whatever is going to be next. We could change this to have a different functionality. So instead of return carriage, or basically a new line, let's say we want dashes. So let's put double quotes here instead, and three dashes. And once we do play, instead of creating a new line, it creates 3 dashes at the end of the line that we have printed, and then the second line. There are, of course, more arguments, but you could check that out for yourself to see how else you could play around with the print method. Become a member at AILearningHub.io and get access to personalized mentor guidance, early access to AI resources, help with AI projects, and a great learning community.